Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch. Today we are covering the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. This is Season 1, Episode 4. I invite you to like this video. You can also subscribe. If you are new here, welcome. And you can leave your comments below. And let's get into this week's episode. All right, y'all. So we get little interludes. In between this, we aren't going to get a lot of Joellen. Joellen is going to be going on a marketing trip. I think it's an annual one or biannual one, but she has to go. And who's left in charge is Gary and also her sister. And we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. We move on to Liz. We're at her home and she has Dolores there. I'm sorry, but I know Liz is trying to say that and Dolores is trying to say that they're not family, but they act too much alike. Liz is a little bit more, well, Alicia's the airhead one. She's a little bit more light, not like Dolores isn't pleasant or whatnot, but I'll just say she's a lot more funny or whatever. I don't know. It just seems that way. She can go off just like Dolores. I don't know. Anyways, Dolores comes by, and I guess Jerry ordered some bananas. He ordered 6, singular, at least 6, or at least, come on, is it a star? To come to the house. That didn't happen. I think it was 6 dozen that came in, I think. So there's a lot of bananas around. So anyways, they start talking a little bit about what happened at the party. And Liz just really confessed, look, I really came off like a bitter, drunken bitch. She says that she felt like Kelsey was co-signing the lies that were out there between her and Dino. And she said that she feels like she was doing that to avoid her own situation that she had with Dino. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. I said, oh, okay. Dolores said, well, how do you feel about that as far as Kelsey? Is it over between y'all? She said, I don't think so, but it's going to take me a minute to trust her. And Dolores says, she's owed an apology. And Liz said, I'm owed an apology too. Cool. Kelsey, Alicia, Ashley, and Rosie, they go to the beach. They go to the Jersey beach. Alicia's used to the beach at the country club. So, no. Alicia is uppity in some of the things. She just likes the better things in life. I don't think anything's wrong with going with any of the town beaches at all. But if you have a preference, you have a preference, and that's just that. Ashley was talking about how the other ladies are dressed to go to this beach, and she says, while everyone else is just looking glammed up, and I just look like a mom that tried. Yes, Ashley is our down-to-earth, probably the less chaotic, at least for this season, but we don't know how she's going to be during more of the season. Even though she wasn't in a trailer like that, we don't know what was done for her at all. But anyways, I like her. Some of y'all want her gone. Y'all wanted her gone episode 1. Everybody can't be the same person. It would get boring. As much as y'all want to say it wouldn't. Keep all that stuff for Bad Girls Club or Baddies, since the prerequisite is that you got to beat everybody up to even be considered to get on the show. Alicia has brought some pizza chips. Basically, it's a piece of bread, and they put red sauce on it. There's some interesting things that a lot of the Northeasterners like. Like, if you go to New York, for whatever reason, they like those shortbread style cookies with the frosting, with one side having black and one side having white frosting on it. Why they love it, I don't know. They sell them down here in Florida because, of course, a lot of New Yorkers come down here for the winter for them. So they're a part of our snowbirds. But yeah, it just be like, okay, what is so interesting about this white and black cookie? I don't know, but as I would say, like, look, okay, we're getting some red sauce on some dough, okay? Ashley's like, well, look, I'm needing like some cheese. Where is that at? You know? Well, the bread is already carb filled, so maybe less fattening and carb filled because of the non-existent cheese. But at the same point, look, let me just have my regular if I'm going to have some pizza. They want to get into some of the gossip. Since Joella and Gary and Rula and what's his face? Did Rula come? I don't think so. Anyways, Brian. They wanted to know, okay, so why is Rula and mad at Joella? I forgot who answered, but I think it may have been Liz, but it was the fact that Joella got involved in what was going on in her marriage. But they didn't say it the way that it has been said for the last couple of episodes. Joella shared what was going on with other people, even though the whole town is talking about it. It's just that Joella had the proof to confirm all this, and now it's out there, and there's no denying of it, as they've been wanting to do and want to act like it's nothing. Then we're finding out because, was it in the last episode? When one of the producers who was interviewing Rula brought up this other marriage. Rula said, oh, we don't talk about that. Apparently, according from Alicia, it's just a rumor, that Brian cheated with Rula. And that's how him and Rula got together. He cheated on his first wife who was Alicia's Spanish teacher. Now, the one person that knows everything is Alicia. Everybody comes to her. Because she's been spilling it and she's the town crier. Kelsey ends up sharing what happened between her and Liz. Okay, Liz isn't there, so possibly it was Alicia. I don't know who it was that was talking about what is Rula's problem with Joella. Kelsey shares what happened and all that. I think the triggering thing was when I said ongoing. It wasn't to perpetuate, trying to say that, or insinuate, that's a better word, that you were still in this relationship with Dino. It was the ongoing rumors that are out there, like, put it to bed, you know? But Liz didn't take it that way. Alicia said, you know, when Liz did what she did, you know, we're cut from the same cloth, you know. When we feel tried in any way, we will go off, you know. Liz is the type of person you gotta kind of walk around she say kind of walk around eggshells, and it can get quite nasty when she does get mad, you know. Did I say walk it on eggshell? I think so. Yeah. Anyways, but Alicia says I get scared of her, and it's hard to get me scared. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we're gonna see that one of these days. All right, so we go to Gary and Joellen's home. Joellen is out of town, but she's, you know, FaceTiming, wanting to see the children and all that. Gary's sister-in-law, who is Joellen's sister, is staying with them while Joellen is gone, and she's helping to take care of the children and anything that needs to be done around the house. Joellen and Gary had a thing in high school. I don't know if they actually dated, but they had interest in one another. They may have been talking or whatever. I can't remember. I gotta go back to episode 1. But anyways, soon after, Gary went after Joellen, who was younger and all that. But Jen, who is Joellen's sister, has a unconventional relationship with Gary. And they say a lot of suggestive stuff. Jen wants a Gary. I think Jen wants Gary. But hey, if you allow Cousin Faith in the house, cool. Cool. She said that, can I have his sperm? I'm like, and Joellen's just laughing it off. Now look, Joellen and Gary, I wouldn't play with my marriage like that. Unfortunately, you are on reality TV. And I'll tell you, folks are going to start creating narratives and doing whatever they can to split y'all up. You're opening up a can of worms. And it's cool that you're showing your life. I really do. I have no objections to that. I think we should be judicial on what you actually share, because I can just see the wheels turning as to what the internet will do to you and your family, especially at what you are opening up. Just saying. Just saying. Joellen loves him as a brother. That's what Jen loves him as a brother. Okay. She wants a Gary. Joellen and Jen did not get along. They used to fight all the time until their dad passed away. And they became real sisters. There's a real bond there. Let's move on. Alicia's aunties come by. Yeah, they're going to be our little golden ticket that is given to us, and I absolutely love it. They come by and they say a lot of TMI information as far as things that are going on health-wise. I think one of the aunties said that they were getting that they got a colonoscopy. Dolores is coming over, and we find that, or not Dolores, Liz is coming over. We find out that Liz's sister and Alicia's mom are best friends. Ashley comes, and also Rula la, as they say. But anyways, they get into talk in regards to Bill's unwillingness to put her name on the house, and they basically said, look, if he don't value you that much, then what is the point in even being around? Nothing's going to change later on. And others said, look, it just may not be for you if he's not really seeing it for you to put your name on the house. Anything could happen. And really, Bill, look, you can leave this earth tomorrow. Are you comfortable knowing that you have left Alicia out here on her own? Just saying. They get into a little bit of Rula. How the ladies bring it up, that they know, but they don't push the issue in a salacious way or anything to that nature. It was more common conversation, and then kind of just picking her in regards to how's your marriage, is it happy, and all that. And some of the ladies just shared their own experiences. One of them talked about her husband being a wanderer. Another one said, things do go on in the marriage, because I think Rula was like, yeah, stuff can happen, and it's how you want to weather through it. And another one said, well, mine just kept on cheating. And it was always this constant, I had to look over my shoulder. And it's all about, are you willing to keep or continue to look over your shoulder? That's all up to you and what you decide on what you want done for yourself, lady. Another one of the auntie says, look, all I want you to do is I pray that you hurt him. Basically, get your leg back. I love that. That was the best part of the whole time. But I love the whole setting that they had going on. Ashley was there, and usually her security person, Rosie, wasn't there, and she's kind of venturing out on her own at this point. So Rosie comes by Ashley's home, and we get a little closer view to see Dawson and Hayden. Dawson and Hayden are Ashley and Jared's children. Dawson is 3, I think, and Hayden is 1. Rosie says, look, I think I am good with children. I love my nieces and nephews. I also know that I can get them back. They talk a little bit about that. What Rich has going on, touring and all of that. The stuff I have going on, my production company, And I don't see where a child can fit. Ashley's at that age, or at that point in her life, where she's kind of like, you better go on and have some children. You know how those kind of aunties and grannies will just say, you better go on and put some beans in the oven, or have the beans put in the oven, But yeah, however, she doesn't really push it on anyone, or at least with Rosie. But she does, that's just kind of where she is in her logic. I still just say, freeze some eggs just in case you do actually want to have them. And then when you want to, then it's going to be really difficult for you to have them. Yeah. She ends up saying, I'm in a gray area in regards to this. So you're not really opposed, but you're not 100% on at the same point. Because of how she grew up, she actually let us know that she's scared that she's going to mess with the child, especially at how her mom was towards her. Although you are dealing with some trauma and anger and resentment and all of that, are you going to call yourself, at this point, Rosie, messed up? Yeah, there's some issues you got to deal with, but I would change your mindset and how you think about yourself, because it's like, you don't want to mess up with anyone else. Then that means that you are confessing that you're messed up. Just saying. All right, so Jerry and Liz. Okay, Liz is on Jerry's boat. We find out that there was a sale of his boat. He says that he has done sports fishing. Sports fishing is what Jerry would do. He would be gone for 3 weeks out of a month. Liz says that he would just come back for a couple of days, and then he goes right back out there for sports fishing. So at least it's sold, and that part of his life is over. Liv says that I think it's great because the grandchildren are going to be here, even though we know that he's not going to do anything. You know, it'd just be better for him to be here. Rosie and Ashley. Okay, are we done? No, we're not there. Kelsey comes, and now it's time for the talk. Liz, she says, you know, I'm not proud of how I reacted. It was the ongoing words that you said that was triggering to me. And Kelsey gets into Dino, and we find out what happened. 10 years ago, she ended up dating Dino during a time where it wasn't really solid between her and the boyfriend and all that. When she decided, I guess, to get more serious with the guy that she's with now, she tried breaking it off with Dino. Dino became very stalkerish towards her. No, I don't even think that they were together. She says that they hooked up. But I couldn't get rid of Dino, and even after and how I even feel now, I believe that I got PTSD. I said, Lord Jesus. And your experience in relationship is not the same that I have been with you. I think Liz respects that. She just says, like, I don't know him to be that way, you know. So they just pick out different things that they want that is on the boat, and they leave. Just got a little bit to go. Ashley, Rose, Rula, Liz, Alicia, Kelsey, and Dolores. Okay, Kelsey has an event. And she invites everyone to Rail Explorers. While they're in the Spritter vans traveling, Kelsey ends up opening a bottle with her teeth, some type of wine. Rosie, she ended up saying that, I don't even know how they got on the subject, but she said that she had colitis that kept her out of work for a while. She was wearing a diaper and all of that. It got bad. At some point, from being off of her job, she said that she knew that she didn't want to go back in anymore, and she decided to leave. Well, Kelsey's in her confessional saying, that's not what's up. Kelsey says that it's around that she got fired for sleeping with someone in the office area. Not just like the physical office, no, sleeping with one of her co-constituents. All right, Rosie. I'm sure that's going to come up because Kelsey and Rosie are going to be at each other's throats. Let's see. Oh, okay, so now they start the Rail Explorer. Basically, they're riding this thingamajig that's kind of, it's like, you know how some of the boats where you have to use your feet to keep the boat moving and all that? It's kind of in that way when you see it on the railway. I thought that's totally genius, and I wish that was something that was in my area because I would really consider that. I think I'm pretty accustomed to using my legs like that anyways because I go to the gym all the time. So yeah, it looked pretty good. Rosie and Liz are sitting together, and she asks point blank, "What do you think about Ashley?" And Liz is like, "Oh." She didn't expect that question. Liz feels like during the 4th of July, and she feels like Ashley was ignoring her and not trying to be her friend. So she don't really know what's up with her and don't know what box to put her in, but it's just kind of like, I might be just good on you. Then Ashley says in her confessional, or maybe to who? One of them. I don't know. That her mom ended up saying that people were confusing her shyness as being what is it, her shyness for itchiness. They really thought that she was itch, but she was really just reserved. Is it now? Rosie does say that, I believe it too, that you just kind of come off scary. Liz says, people think that I'm scary, but I'm really harmless. The only time is when I get angry, and you got to do something to really do that to me. She said that she is guarded, and she's afraid of people leaving her, or I'm paraphrasing, disappointing her, and they got to leave out of her life. So she doesn't let a lot of people in. And if you're in, and that's just that. I understand. So the ladies are sitting down at the beach at this point. The trail is over. Alicia's talking about how Bill treats her. We're finding out that she's the brains that's behind the pizza place that he has. I said, wow. And she wants a piece of a pie. And she wants her name on the house. Alicia doesn't know how to really express herself to him about this. So the ladies do some role playing. There was something significant. Not that significant. Yeah, I think that is awful because, like, Bill. Well, some people are saying that he's the one that made that child, but I thought he's the stepdad. Like, she was pregnant when they met. But y'all can let me know in the comments if y'all remember exactly what it is. Is he the father of this child? Or did Alicia get pregnant and they met during the pregnancy and they've been together since? Let me know. Rosie brings up what they were talking about with Liz. I think that she didn't really bring it up because somebody else was asking, what were y'all talking about over there? Da, 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 da. And she said, with Liz, Rosie's talking, I just brought up some different type of concerns or just wanting to know what's up, at least with Liz and that type of crash out that she had and all that. And people also thinking that she is dismissive. I'm saying dismissive right now, and all that. They get in on how, Liz gets on her emotions as far as going off and all that, It's not a thing that she always does, but she does know that does reoccur. And it depends on the offense. And Rosie was like, well, yeah, Alicia, you were saying, like, don't you want to add that you were just, that it doesn't end, and she's just like this, and da-da-da-da-da. And Alicia's like, wait, what? You calling me out? That's what Alicia was saying. You calling me out? And Alicia goes off because now you're trying to twist it like I was being messy towards her, da-da-da-da-da. It's a lot. And Alicia said, look, I'm glad you showed your true colors. Look, I have been a loyal person already thus far, but thank you. Thank you. And welcome to the real Rhode Island, itch. I said, the one that you're going to get my wrath from. I said, wow. Okay, Alicia, you did say that you were cut from the same cloth. So I think Liz and Alicia, or Dolores, whomever, got up with her, and she said, I don't like it. She's a troll, scumbag, all of this, And I don't like it. She's trying to twist it up and trying to act like I didn't say anything. Like I said all this stuff. Alicia, you did. You definitely let us know that, okay, angry Liz is nothing pretty. So I'm like, I don't know if it's really valid. However, you felt the shade in what Rosie was saying, and then Rosie cries again. She was just like, I wasn't trying to do that. I just thought that you would vouch as to what is going on with her. I kind of think you were being shady to start some mess. I do. You're quite clever too. I'll just say that much, Rosie. You are. What depreciates your value is that you're crying all the time. Toughen up, buttercup. That's all I got to say. Now, is that it? Now, Alicia was like, we're done. Da, 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 da. Welcome to Rhode Island, itch. This is how we roll. That's just how we roll. Sierra. But yeah, Alicia left twice. But anyways, finally Rosie and Alicia did talk. And they're better. I was like, that's a fast turnaround. After you would never forgive her and it's basically on site. But anyway, interesting episode. Gary and Joellen, I will retreat for playing with your marriage like this. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe. And until the next video, peace.